CM Punk punched Matt Jackson in the face.
He's AEW now, right?
Oh, okay. So
because I missed
Sunday was the pay-per-view,
and
then like right after the pay-per-view, there was this press conference where all of a sudden just CM Punk just goes off on shit that nobody asked about, just looking like a real asshole, talking about an ex-friend of his that people like and calling him a piece of shit, like making fun of him for having a bank account with his mom, this guy named Colt Cabana. It was really weird. Then all of a sudden these reports come out that the Young Bucks come and confront him in his dressing room, like, what the fuck was that? And fucking CM Punk just punches one of them in the face.
Jeez.
Then all of a sudden, his friend, this guy named Ace Steel, who works behind the screen, in the back.
Yeah, in the back.
Fucking comes in, sees what's going on, throws a chair at another guy's face, and then bites fucking Kenny Omega. So wrestling's really weird right now.
Yeah, I watched the other pay-per-view instead.
Which one?
The WWE one, Clash of Castle.
You fucker? Why?
Friends were watching it and it was on. But it was all right.
I heard it was okay. I heard the ending was shitty. Like Roman cheats again, and then Tyson Fury comes out and tries to sing or something.
Yeah, it was really weird. Well, because like it was fun because the dude, whoever's got like the money in the bank right now, tried to like sneak in at the last second. Of course, got denied.
Of course.
But
that's what happens.
You know, it was when you scrub through it and don't watch the whole like 3.5 hours and just watch the fights, it was fine.
You know, I'm getting bored of Roman Reigns because he hasn't been beaten in like 800 days. He has more days as champion than almost any other person, and they're boring. But he's got more days as champion. But you know what I got?
What?
I have more trophies than you. Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You. This is a video game podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. I am your host, Dr. Ryan, the currently 59th best gamer in all of North America. Drop down a little bit. Hey, I'm you'll understand in a bit, but you go ahead.
And I'm your multiversus champion, Chris. What's up?
What do you mean?
I've been playing that game so fucking much.
What are you a champion of?
I'm a champion of my own.
Did you win some sort of legal tournament? Or are you just making shit up? Making shit up?
I've got the dream. That's what it is.
We don't give a shit about dreams around here.
Look, you got to live your dreams to become them. I'm living that right now.
Hold on. Full disclosure. I started reading manga.
Okay, what'd you read?
So I just got back from PAX, and I was talking to a good friend Johnny, Mega 64.
Okay,
and he was talking about I started reading One Piece again. I was like, why? And it's like, I don't know, because it's easy on my phone. And he showed me the Shonen Jump app.
Yeah,
where it's like $2 a month, and it's got all this shit.
Yep.
So immediately I was like, fuck it. I got that, and I downloaded shit. I read it all on the plane. And I've been reading a one that I used to read in Shonen Jump when I first started getting it when it was coming to America. I only got like a couple chapters in. So within the last 16 hours, I've read 80 chapters of Hikaru no Go.
Oh shit! That's a classic though.
It's great. I love it a lot.
I'd like to go back and reread that one day.
That's a lot about someone thinking they're a champion.
Yeah,
but that kid like wins. No, he hasn't won any big tournaments yet. He's right now. I'm in the arc where he's taking the pro test.
Mm-hmm.
So no spoilers. But until you take the Multiversus Pro test, you're not allowed to call yourself.
That's the thing is, I think I'm starting to get to that point. The biggest problem I have is that I think
the game sucks.
It's fucking great.
Bad game for shitters.
You haven't played. Hey, you know what? You can't fucking say that shit. I'm throwing it back at you. You haven't played it. You can't say that.
I could have played it at PAX. You don't know that.
Oh yeah, did you?
No.
Exactly. No, I'm really starting to feel that itch of maybe giving it a shot. I want to play doubles though. I don't know if I want to play singles because I have put most of my time into doubles. And the occasional singles match that I do get, it's weird. It feels like it's almost a completely different game. So, I think I want to get this move done first, and then after that, I think I'm gonna maybe try and play in a tournament if they've they've got local ones, I might do that, but probably one of like the online tournaments that go on every week or so. So maybe. I'd like to give it a shot. I really like it. I win more matches than I lose, which is awesome. But yeah, it's just a really clean fighter. I'm really getting it under my belt, and I really like it now. So bet that's going to be in our top 10 at the end of the year.
No, last year you put a shitty Smash knockoff in our top 10, and then you were like, "Oh, it's so good," blah blah. And then I played it, and it was that Nicktoons game was shitty.
It's not. I don't think it's a finished game though. I'll say that, but at the same time, like nothing came out last year, and like
I disagree. There were better games we could have put on that top 10.
No. Yeah. Where did
there were games that I cut to be nice to? Wait, hold on. Where's my notebook? I wonder if I still have my notes from last year in here. There were games that I cut to be nice to give you like
a game on the
even
list.
Spread. You had the number 2 game. Don't even fucking act like
hey, that deserved to fucking win though. That fucking game was so good.
It was not a game. It was a fucking expansion pack.
Well, then like. When do you get to judge that game? When the game has reached the end of a story, or do you judge it on
the game came out when it first came out? Yeah, just the first chapter. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay,
games that we cut. I found my notes. Go ahead. Then
you can't judge Bloodborne until you have to judge on that. You can't judge any like good DLC. Like you can't judge.
You judge Bloodborne when it like Elden Ring. When Elden Ring wins the best game of the year, it's going to be judged on what came out this year and not any DLC.
I guess.
And it's going to win the best game of the year. Mark my fucking words.
It's only going to win it because fucking. Everyone thinks From Software is infallible. That's it.
Oh, I don't think they're infallible. I fucking hate Sekiro. I don't understand Bloodborne. Elden Ring's a great game.
Bloodborne fucking rules, though. But like,
it's not that Bloodborne's probably. I love the style of Bloodborne, and I wish I was better at it. Mm-hmm. They made too many. I'm gonna really try. At some point, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna try. But they made such significant changes that my brain just doesn't understand.
I think that's why I liked it more than its predecessors, is because they changed so much that it just became like a faster game, and that's something I really enjoy about it, is the fluidity of like combat and how fast it is and how it rewards being aggressive. Because if you take a hit, as long as you can get a couple hits in real quick without taking another hit, you're gonna regain that life automatically. So I don't know, I want them to put it on PC. Come to PC, please. Give me a reason to replay that game.
I'm trying to remember what we called our top 10 last year, because I've got the list of like what I wanted to put on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I definitely have the list. Let me.
Do you have the list?
Yeah.
Cut out the part where we're trying to find the list.
Yeah. Let me do that real quick. 1 second.
You actually have it?
Yeah, I should. I saved too much. My Google Drive is like 13 gigs.
Oh, I found my notes on Remember Me. I haven't thought about that in a while. Wait, keep all this in because I want to talk. There was a line, I'm remembering a line from Remember Me that made me mad, where she said, "Little Red Riding Hood's got a basket full of kick-ass." Fuck that game.
So I have shit. It doesn't seem like I have like the definitive top 10. I have our 2 choices like set.
But you don't have what we definitively called.
Yeah, I don't have like the 10-1 spread though.
Shit.
I had Nickelodeon in 3rd though. I really like that. I really think that game is a
bad game.
I think that game just suffers from lack of support. I think that's the only reason why it's bad. It's just,
well, there are better games than there definitely. I can think of a lot of better games of last year than that game. I played it this year, and man, I'm really disappointed. Doesn't matter. That's months away. It's only September. We got a bunch of games coming out. There are games that are out that we talk about. Like, things are gonna happen. Things are happening.
Yeah.
I bought 2 new video games today after getting home from PAX. I almost bought a 3rd one, but I thought I would wait.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to interrupt you. I do have the 10-1 spread.
Oh, okay, what's the 10-1 spread?
10-1. Forza Horizon 5, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Guardians of the Galaxy, Persona 5 Strikers, Psychonauts 2, Deathloop, specifically the PS5 version.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Hitman 3, Final Fantasy 14, Endwalker, and Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, did Chicory not make it on that list?
No.
Chicory was 1,000 times a better game than Nicktoons All-Star Brawl.
I don't know. I still got my 50 hours of Nickelodeon and enjoyed it.
It was a bad game, and once you play Chicory, you'll say, Ryan, you're right. Chicory's a great game.
We'll see.
Chicory's a great game. I got home from PAX.
How was it?
Fine.
Yeah, that's all you have.
It was bigger than last year.
Okay.
And there was some cool things, but it was still missing that you know what I mean? Like there wasn't that big thing that made me go, fuck yeah. It was more just like, yeah, there's some things. So
no showstoppers.
No showstoppers. I'll give a quick report.
Yeah.
I was there with my good friends of Mega 64. Mostly just hung out with them. Like for that alone, it was fun. I got to hang out with all them. Got to hang out with Frank, Brian, Carlos, Jared of Cheap Ass Gamer. Like, of course, I had a great fun time with my friends. Right. As far as the expo itself, like, and I'm talking just the expo floor because I don't really give a shit about anything else at PAX.
Right.
Like their panels are ass. We're gonna get one next year.
Did you check out any of them?
Nope. I went to the Cheap Ass Gamer panel and the Mega 64 panel, and that was it. The like other things you could do is like, hey, you would have a great time. There's like a tabletop thing. There's a whole bunch of card games. Pokemon. The biggest booth there was Pokemon trading card play labs.
Yeah, I saw them post pictures of it, and then I of course saw some of like the staff, and I was like, oh, I know those people. That is one thing I think that Pokemon is doing a very, very good job of now is finally, after years of fucking PTOs being like premier tournament organizers, being
paid time off.
Yeah, paid time off. Being like, hey, we need to go to conventions and help spread the word of the TCG. And I saw so many people on Twitter being like, I've never played the card game before, but I tried it at PAX and I loved it, and now I'm going to play. And I was like, wow, finally, because I said that to, I don't think I said it on the show, but I said that to like friends when we were at Gen Con last month, because that was another event that they would never go to because Wizards of the Coast used to host it, or was a huge sponsor of it. Yeah. So they were like, oh, Wizards is there? We're good. And then Wizards quit several years ago, and now Pokemon's starting to come back to the event, and it's awesome. I'm so glad to see maybe it growing in that way.
Let me tell you why.
Oh no, did you try it?
There was an entire 6th floor for that shit. Put it up there. They took the biggest booth on the video game floor and made it about that fucking card game.
Good. They need. No. Well, here's the thing.
There could have been a video game there.
No, fuck video games.
Fuck you.
I do a show about video games.
I don't give. Listen, it's great. It seemed as cool. It was the biggest line all the time, but I don't give a shit because it's a card game that I don't play. Put it up with the other card games. They had so much room on the 6th floor that was just nothing. You could have put it up there and it made the 6th floor the Pokemon card game floor, and everyone could have fun. And then you could have put more video games on there because. You know, I don't know.
I understand that too, but
yeah. Okay, so here's the deal with the show floor this year. The way that I summed it up was it's a lot of people who don't have a lot of stuff to show, but are definitely just here so they can get grandfathered into a good spot next year.
Yeah. That's what Gen Con felt like.
Fucking Sega was there. They had this huge booth, and it was like, you can play Company of Heroes 3.
Oh, okay.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They had this thing called Endless, and then they had all these fucking pins, like not the Penny Arcade pins, just their own pins. And they're like, "Oh, you got to stand in this line and play the demo." Nobody wanted to do that. So by the end of the last day, they just had giant like buckets out with all of their pins, just like, "Please take the pins."
That's fucking good.
The booth I spent the most time at was the McDonald's booth. And all it was they had some crane games where you could win like socks and shit. And we kept doing it to get Sean's wife Jenny a McDonald's like hoodie or t-shirt or whatever. I finally got one for her by cheating. That's a great old thing. I'll save that. I'll let Sean talk about that on the Mega 64 podcast. By when does this come out? So by the time this comes out, wait like 2 days and you'll hear about it probably on the Mega 64 podcast. But There were a couple cool games, but they were few and far between. Like the biggest thing that Bankai I've been
Namco.
doing this all week. Instead of Namco Bandai, I was saying Banco Namdai. The biggest thing was a fucking Elden Ring scavenger hunt. It's like Elden Ring's been out for 6 months. This is all you have to promote. And then it was like the One Piece booth they had at Anime Expo again. They did have a little thing where you could take a picture with Dragon Ball The Breakers, where it's like Frieza's coming after you, and then they had like 4 stations to play. The thing that pissed me off most about Namco's is they had this thing with all of these like figures for sale, and there was like this one. I texted to Rocco because he loves Dragon Ball, right? And they had like shell. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. Cell's empty shell from like when he sheds, becomes perfect Cell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like $79.99. I texted Rocco because I got there before him. I was like, yo, they got this. He's like, oh shit, I need that. Can you pick it up for me? I was like, yeah, totally. I went over. Hey, I want to buy that. Oh, it's not for sale. What do you mean it's not for sale? Oh, we're not selling anything. Why do you have a store with stuff? Oh, just so you know, you can buy it online.
Yeah, that's exactly what Gen Con was. It was just a lot of like, hey, pre-order it or go online and buy it. And it's like, no, I'm here at the event.
It gets worse. So then I go online to pre-order it just to send them a link. And it's like, oh, it's not for pre-order. It's only if you buy the limited edition version of that game. Oh. It's like, then why does it have a price tag? It was fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb.
Nintendo had a giant booth for Splatoon, but you couldn't play it.
Oh, that's weird because they were doing that tournament there, like they
had that was another thing. They had all these stations to play it, and the thing is, you weren't allowed to line up to play it. You had to have gotten a warp pipe pass through random raffle 2 weeks ago.
That's so stupid. I hate that.
And you know what? I decided to try because I had heard about it. So I signed up for the raffle like 2 weeks ago, and you can sign up for one spot a day for the 4 days. So I did, and they're like, great. You're in the raffle. You will hear back from us. And then I never got an email back. And I don't know if I won or lost. I tried checking my Nintendo. I couldn't find it. For all I know, I did, and they just forgot to tell me. It was really super stupid. So that was a huge booth that meant nothing. Another big booth was they had a bunch of stuff for Saints Row. That game's been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the game's been out, and oh boy.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad stuff.
Yeah. We should totally play it next year.
When it's like $8, sure.
Yeah.
Devolver had a big booth. They had Angerfoot there, which is like their first-person Hotline Miami ripoff. And then some other shit I didn't give a shit about. Skybound was there. Skybound had WrestleQuest. Jeff Jarrett showed up to talk about WrestleQuest. I saw him eating eggs in the lobby of the Sheraton Hotel. WrestleQuest is basically a wrestling-based Mario and Luigi RPG, like Superstar Saga.
Yeah,
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. You know what I mean? That's like, pick your move, press X, and then there's like a little mini game with timing where if you press it again, you do more damage.
Right.
That's fun. I like wrestling. They have Macho Man in there, like straight up, like the rights to actual Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Cute.
Yeah. They also had a game called Vice Undercover. It was just like, I thought it would look cool. I remember Jared looked at it and said, I can't play this because it's just my normal day job. Because basically what it is, you're looking at like files for clues and like trying to like cross-reference and find like inconsistencies and shit. Is like, that's just like what I do when I'm trying to find deals. So I thought that was pretty funny. There was a booth selling video games. I went a little crazy.
Oh no.
I bought a complete in box copy of The Legend of Zelda, but it was the classic series. So it was, like the greatest hits.
Okay.
But I also bought a complete in box copy of Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, nice.
And a complete in box copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Okay. Understandable.
Yeah. And a complete in box copy of Jeopardy on the NES.
Hey, there you go.
that one was from Pink Gorilla.
Shout out.
Let's see what else was on the floor was cool. From there, you go into the Sky Bridge. Nothing cool was on the Sky Bridge. We were on the Sky Bridge right by like some board game company, and there was just this big poster for they're putting out some new Dune game called Dune Imperium. And it was just this stylized, weird drawing of Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya that looked like shit, and we were just making fun of it the whole time. Then, like, when doing the other hall, was there anything cool? There was, I got to see Lies of P, the Pinocchio Dark Souls game.
How was
it is straight up. I didn't get to play it, but I watched it. Mm-hmm. It is straight up Bloodborne, but like they just put this Pinocchio ass looking dude as the player character. It's like the same kind of gothic layout. It's the same exact kind of gameplay. Like you kill guys and use the same little souls drop. You'll find like, you know, little points of light on the ground to pick something up, like in all those games. So they just made one of those. That was funny.
It's getting a lot of hype. So we'll see.
I'm gonna play it. I'm trying to think of good things before I think of bad things. Oh, there was a really cool game back in the indie area that Skybound is producing, but no plans yet if it's going to be coming to PlayStation. They want to, but I'd play it. There's this game called The Big Con, and it's a 90s adventure game where you're playing a girl trying to basically grift her way across America. Like the level I played was she went to a mall and you had to like pickpocket people and then use that. It's like, I need $87 to get a bus ticket. So I went around and I was like pickpocketing people, and the pickpocketing mini game is just like, you know, get the arrow in the bar, nothing special, but it, you know, it was fun. And then I would use that and I'd go into shops and I'd be like, hey, can you make change for a 20? And as they're counting out dollar bills, I had to distract them so they fucked up and gave me too much money. The humor was really cool. The art was amazing. There was a skateboarding mini game. And the thing that I liked the most is to sell like the 90s thing. They were selling game codes for the game. But what it was is you buy a wrapped in brown, like a brown paper bag VHS tape that had like a code for the game inside of it. And they're like, yeah, we just got a bunch of fucking VHS tapes from a thrift store. Like they were like, one of these games in here, or one of these tapes is definitely Spice World. There's a Shrek in here that's like the grand prize. So I thought that was pretty funny.
That's cute. I like that.
Let's see. Other cool things. Oh, do you know Ziggurat? You've heard of the game company Ziggurat? They've made some other stuff.
Yeah.
They've got a game coming out soon called Slave Zero. Looks like a fucking like overly bloody slash 'em up on the Dreamcast, but it's you know, nowadays like all of the artwork is like hand drawn. It looked very cool.
Huh. Sounds neat.
The Mortuary Assistant, it was there, which is a game that's taken off. It's become kind of meme popular over the last few weeks on Steam. That's going to be coming hopefully to PlayStation soon. That's where it's like mortuary. It's like you're doing autopsies, but also there's a ghost kind of get you. I don't know about that. One thing I saw that fucking annoyed me to no end is, do you know Tiny Build?
Yes, they do like
Hello Neighbor and all that shit, all that fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a game a couple years ago I played. It was a little indie game called Roombo, like if Roomba but a Rambo, where you're playing a little Roomba that people are breaking into your owner's house, so you have to kill them and clean up all the blood before your owners get home. It was a fun little platinum. They had that game and they renamed it. Apparently they bought the rights to it and they're just going to rename it Justice Sucks and put it out again. It's like, it's the same fucking game.
Well, like this game sucks, or this naming scheme sucks. It should
really,
just...
something weird about that is like, this is an established game that's been out. I bought it. And now they're like, no, that game doesn't exist anymore. Now it's called Justice Sucks.
It's like Stolen Valor is what it is.
Yeah, but we're okay. But you can't say that because we're pro Stolen Valor in 2022.
Then maybe we should be pro this game.
No, I don't.
Because they basically took that game and said, "Oh yeah, we made that," but it was called
yeah. Yeah. Other than that, like I didn't really see anything else I gave a shit about.
That's unfortunate. You said Sega.
Brian told me he played River City Girls 2 and that it was dope. So I can say
I want to play.
At least Brian thought it was dope.
I want to play
River City Girls Zero's trophy list came out and it's pretty easy. We should play that.
Okay, I'm down.
Other than that, I can't really think of anything at PAX that was like cool. No,
you ever
played a DJ set that was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What were we gonna say?
You said Sega was there. Was Sonic Frontiers showcased at all?
All they had was Company of Heroes 3 and something called Endless Dungeon.
Yeah, that's
like I said, they didn't bring anything good. Nobody brought anything good, and it was just an excuse to have a spot next year.
That's so like. I think I messaged you about this like a few weeks ago, but that game is going to be so dog shit. I don't know if you've seen anything about it, but it's like they're legitimately just taking levels from old games and hitting copy and paste into the new ones. Like there are side-by-side videos showing whatever new stage, and it's just the same exact layout as like a previous one, and it's not even just one level. There's like 4 or 5 different videos with different stages, and I'm just hearing that they're not at PAX, and they usually put out demos for their games before they come out, you know, at least Sonic. This one's not getting one. I think this game might suck. And I think they might know
Sonic,
it.
Hey, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Every Sonic game that wasn't on the Genesis sucks.
I hard disagree with that, but
maybe I know you like Sonic CD, but I would count the Sega CD is still on the Genesis. Everything past the Genesis sucks.
Mania is amazing.
Never played it. That's just the Genesis game, so that's probably fine.
I mean, I'd go out as far as saying that the adventure games are good. Past that, I think there are some. I don't know. I think they meet the definition of good. I don't think anything's great. But like
Bad
Unleashed, it's fine. It's good. Colors is good. Passable. Generations is passable.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Sonic anymore. I'm moving on. The people who made Yacht Club, the people that made like Shovel Knight were there. And they had Mina the Hollower, that game they're making that's like a 8-bit handheld Zelda.
Yeah.
That game's gonna rule. That game's gonna rule.
Did you get to play it, or it was just
I did not get to play it. I didn't really have time to put like the lines. There was nothing else to do, so lines were pretty long, and I wasn't willing to stand in like a 2-hour line.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the longest I waited to play a game was like 10 minutes.
Out
of the few games I played, but like I watched it for a bit. It looks dope.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I hope it comes out soon. I know that
I think it's still in development.
So. Yeah, and Hollow Knight took several years for it to come out.
That's a different company.
Or what am I thinking?
Shovel
Knight. Sorry.
Shovel
Knight. That game took forever to come out, so I expect to see it in like 2025, and I'll love it then.
Hopefully sooner than that.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the thing is, like, you know, you being at PAX and all of our friends have been like, oh, let's all go to PAX when the next one happens. And I'm just sitting over here like, I don't know. Like, I want to go to a convention that's fun, you know? And every time I just like hear about a PAX and the PAX that I went to, it's like,
you would have fun at PAX because you would go and play in the tabletops. You would go and play card games. You would do the classic console free play. But I'm there hanging out with my friends who are working. So I'm mostly hanging out at the booth.
Right.
Or I'm walking around and it's because they've got appointments. And then it's like, what do we do? Like the most fun I had at PAX honestly was like, going to Din Tai Fung with everybody, getting Seattle Dogs after the panel. Last night, the last day was just me, Johnny, and Kevin. So after we packed up the booth, we went to fucking Cheesecake Factory and then went back to our hotel and went to the swimming pool, and it closed at 11 and we didn't get out till like we stayed there till midnight. Like, you know, it's shit like that.
Breaking the rules.
I had fun being at PAX.
Right.
PAX itself, whatever. Maybe it'll be better next year.
It's in
2019 and 2018, I remember there being fun things at PAX. I think it's just PAX hasn't recovered from COVID yet.
Yeah, and I think that about really any convention probably. It's just I have a hard time wanting to be on a show floor when you can't really do anything. It's all just like window shopping. I want to shop, or I want to play something. I don't want to stand in line for 3 hours to get a chance to play something, you know.
It'll be better next year. And also we'll be there as panelists because we're definitely going to get a panel.
Yeah. Which would be fun. Like that's a purpose though. Like then I have something to look forward to. You know, granted, I think I could have fun at any convention as long as I'm hanging out with friends, but it's like, I don't know. PAX just kind of seems like a very expensive convention to go to when they're really not offering much. Yeah. So because that's the thing is it like Gen Con costs probably just, I think, how much was a ticket? Like 125 probably.
I think a 4-day badge at PAX was 220.
Shit, fuck that. Gen Con's 125. It's a 4-day event.
And I might be wrong. I didn't pay for a badge. Hey, I didn't pay for a badge.
Yeah.
So,
but still, that's so much. I got to look that up because that's insane. Like, you really think that it's. I'd almost say, hey, friends, let's not spend $200 and go to PAX. Let's like
Oh yeah, the whole weekend I was
Get a
like, we were talking because they were all there
big-ass
for work. I was the
Airbnb.
only one who wasn't, and I was just like, I could have taken this money that I took to get here in the hotel, and I could have just flown down
Yeah.
and spent a week in San Diego, and we could have had fun. And everyone's like, yeah, we could have done that. So like, I'll go next year if we get a panel, but like if not, I think I'll just go next year for like a day.
Right. Yeah, it's $250 for a 4-day badge. Fuck that. That's twice as much at Gen Con, and I promise you there's so much more to do at Gen Con. But that's the thing.
No.
It's like I would rather...
Yeah, well, how many video games are at Gen Con?
Plenty. There's a big-ass arcade. There's full game setups to play. Like,
who wants to go to fucking Indiana? Ugh.
Yeah, I mean...
is there a Din Tai Fung like a block away from the convention center at Gen Con?
There's some really good Asian food.
It's not, but there's not Din Tai Fung.
Probably not. I don't know. I've never searched it out.
When you move to there's a Din Tai Fung there. We're going to go there. To transition this out of PAX and into something else. You know what I saw a lot of, though, at PAX was cosplayers of Cult of the Lamb. Guess what? They fixed Cult of the Lamb. It's time to go into the Platinum Report. Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Platinum Reports for the last couple of months have been 50 games.
Good.
60 games.
Or no, that's
70
not good.
games.
That's too much.
Welcome to the Platinum Report. I have 2 new Platinums.
I like this Platinum Report.
I don't. I spent a lot of time since last episode playing a game, but not getting the platinum of it that we're going to do later, so I'm not going to talk about it.
No.
And I also played some more of The Walking Dead Season 2 on my Vita. But the 2 games that I platinum since last time are The Cult of the Lamb, which now I want to talk about. But then really quick, the game, and it was a milestone. It was my 1,550th platinum. I got over it. And then I did platinum a game that I want to talk about really quick before I go into in-depth in Cult of the Lamb.
Okay.
Now, this is what you would definitely call an easy game. It's a one of those. But the reason I played it is that it was a FMV visual novel made by some guy in Quebec that doesn't speak English well called I'm in Love with Your Dead Grandmother. And it is by far 100% the worst fucking acting I've ever seen in my entire life.
Sounds amazing. I love it.
There's some guy, there's only 2 people in it, some guy and some lady, and they can't really speak well English. They have very thick French accents. It's not funny. It's badly acted. At one point, he tries to Naruto run. It was on sale for $4. It's the worst thing I've ever played, bar none. There are terrible games that don't work that I would rather sit through because you can't skip cutscenes. And so you have to watch this movie. I'm going to stream it on Monday, even though I have all the trophies. So if you're listening to this and it's Friday when is this coming out? Friday the 9th.
Today is Friday the 9th.
Okay, today's Friday the 9th. Monday the 12th, I'm going to do an Office Hours with Dr. Ryan. This game's like 25 minutes long. It's the worst fucking thing of all time, and I'm going to sit down and make everybody watch it.
It's exciting.
Terrible. I 100% don't ever suggest anyone plays it unless you like bad shit, and then it's just like $4 to understand the worst thing ever. The trophies are easy because all of the trophies are choice based, and they're not even hard. They just like pick this one, pick this. You just read the trophy list and you know what to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Dog shit game. I want to talk about Cult of the Lamb now that it's broken. I want to go in depth in Cult of the Lamb. Your wife has been playing Cult of the Lamb. Have you played any Cult of the Lamb?
No, I've been too busy with other things to play Cult of the Lamb. Because that's definitely a game I want to like give its time to and stuff. So I think
not very long. It's like a 15 to 20 hour game max.
That's what it seems like.
The only reason it took so long for me is because it was fucking broken.
Mm-hmm.
How much did we talk about Cult of the Lamb last time?
I think we've like briefly touched on it, but
okay. Cult of the Lamb is a half roguelike, half like town builder game, like management sim game. The idea is you are the lamb, the last of their kind. I don't know if they talk about it at all. Whatever. You're this little lamb and you get murdered and sacrificed and you wake up in hell and there's this god called the One Who Waits. So the One Who Waits gives you the black crown, this little crown, puts it on your head and says, all right, go back, start a cult, use that power to kill the 4 bishops of the old, gods that killed you. And that's the game. And so it's the half of the game that is a city builder is you have this like patch of land where you build a church and you build a farm and like you bring in cult members that you recruit and you get them to like, you know, chop wood and get stone so you can build more things and pray to a big giant statue of you so you can use their devotion to open up new paths to building new items. And that part's really fun because it is just like a little slice of what like a Stardew or a Harvest Moon or kind of like everyone says Animal Crossing, but not really. It's more like a Harvest Moon or a Stardew. And there's all these great upgrade paths because like your devotion lets you get more things that you can build in the town, but then you go to church and when you take a sermon, there's a different type of devotion that'll give you upgrade paths on items and weapons for when you're on the Crusades, which is the roguelike part that I haven't got to. But then also you can unlock new rituals to like bring people back from the dead or give everybody a day off so they like you more or tithe to bring money in. Then you can also like do doctrine. So it's like you can basically make commandments for your church of like, this is how we're going to deal when it comes to like eating. You know, I was like, oh, do I want to pick that my people don't suffer any penalties and are better when they are cannibals and eat the remains of dead flock members who die because I can cut them up into food? Or do I want to make them vegetarians and I can make them eat grass? And so by eating grass, that usually it would give you like a reduction in faith because they're like, oh, it's fucking grass. And it's like, no, we're all vegetarians now. Eat the grass. And everyone loves it. So you get to build your own little cult, which is pretty dope. You then take those upgrades to like the weapons and everything that you're getting, and you do the other half of the game where you go on crusades, which are basically 4 roguelike dungeons for each of the 4 bishops that you have to kill. And each one is a path like fork where you start, and it's like a normal roguelike. You go through the rooms and you kill and you got to get to the end. And it's like, all right, it's all these branching paths that always meet at the end where the boss is. But it's like, do you want to go here and do you want to do another roguelike level so you can gain resources? Because every time you kill somebody, you can take their bones to do rituals with, or you can chop trees and get wood and stone. Or do you want to go over here because you know that there's a guy that's definitely tied to a tree being sacrificed and you can save him and bring him back to your cult as a cult member? So there's all these long-term things that you can do inside the Crusades to help back at the fucking cult. And then there's things you can do in the cult to help there. It's super fun. Having now played it, my biggest complaint is that it looks bigger than it is.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is when you start, the fucking upgrade path looks amazingly big, and there's all these different things, and you get that. And once you get into it and you get halfway through, the game kind of runs itself.
That makes sense. Usually with that's kind of the problem I run into some roguelites where roguelike. No, you're right with roguelite. Lite. It is light.
Light is where there's constant upgrades.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Because eventually it just becomes what don't you have and what you just need in that moment, and it doesn't really like the illusion of choices. Definitely there, but it's not really a choice. It's just, well, I have to get this next. I have to get this next. And then you just kind of chip away at that. Once you have everything, then the game is just kind of done. And that's kind of what I got watching over my wife. Sorry, hang on. My wife.
There you go. There became a point of the game where it's like, there are more upgrades, but it's just like, yeah, you can have a better outhouse that's got more storage of poop because
Right.
You don't want people pooping on your lawn. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but it doesn't really there's no big difference. And it's like, once I got to a point where it's like, well, I've got enough farmland to sustain my people to make food. I've got enough thing to make me money so that I have money because I need money when I go on my runs to buy things. It's like everything's sustaining, and there are upgrades that'll make things better, but it's just like, I already have like 500 wood. I don't need to keep building, wood places. So now I have like 25 people in my cult, but I don't need half of them, but I don't want to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. That seemed just kind of the whole what am I trying to say? That kind of just seemed like the whole premise to me whenever I was watching my wife play, because it was just, she was so over it quick. I came out one day and was just like, oh, are you not playing Cult of the Lamb anymore? And she was just like, no, I beat it. And it was like, I checked time on my Steam and it was like 12, maybe 15 hours. And I was like, wow, that's it. Like, is there anything really kind of that would drive
DLC
you to
coming?
I mean, that's cool. That's great, because then that's what I was going to ask. Is there anything making you want to play the game past that point?
I mean, for trophies, yeah. There are things that you do have to go out of your way to do a little bit. And I'll go over the trophies in a second, but it's just like, for someone just playing the game, 15 hours sounds about right. I will say, I think I commend it where it's like, it could have made itself go longer and drag on, and it doesn't. It gets in, it gets out, and it's over.
That's kind of nice sometimes, I guess. Do you think the proof of concept to make this a more grander or bigger game in the future, granted, doesn't have to be Cult of the Lamb, I'm just saying, like, the systems it employs and the town building aspect, do you think that we will see something like that on a bigger scale in the future? Do you think that would work as something?
That someone could rip it off and make it bigger, but I think that so I relate it to like Stardew, right? Where Stardew Valley, they will hard on making the perfect town, and also the part about like meeting all the villagers and all that. So it's like you can go long and hard on that, and there are different choices and different ways to have your farm and everything. When here it's like, really, I have the game on PS4 and PS5 because you bought it and come together, and I did one of the versions. I could go and platinum it again, and I can make different choices, but at the end of the day, I think everything will end up the same, because you were right, there is an illusion of choice, but really that's not that much of a difference. Like, at the end of the day, what you need is really simple. You need a bunch of places for your traveler or for your followers to live. You need a bunch of farm space to make them food, to make them self-sustainable, and then you just have to keep them happy, so they keep giving you devotion so that you can upgrade and get your sermon thing up, so you can have better weapons and better curses for the roguelike. Because the game, like, you beat the game, and it's like you can keep playing if you want and keep the town going. It's like, there's no really reason. The town runs on its own.
Right.
So do I think that a bigger one could be made? Sure. I don't think it needs to be made. I think this is perfect. That's fair. I think the DLC that's going to come out is probably going to be like, here's a new dungeon and here's some new stuff you can build. And it'll be like, oh, this will be a different, like, they'll probably put out a new weapon. So, like, when you go on the Crusades and the roguelikes, there's, like, 5 different weapons. There's a dagger, a sword, a claw, an axe, and a hammer. And they all have different aspects, like, one's faster, one's heavier, but does more damage. You know, there's differences, but whatever. And so they'll probably add a new one of those. They'll add a different type of weapon, because there's like, this is a poison weapon. This is a weapon that gets you health, a vampiric weapon that gets you health back. This weapon, when you kill someone, they come back as a ghost and they, fucking attack your nearest enemy. So they'll probably add one of those. They'll probably add some new curses, which are like your ranged attacks. And there'll be like a couple new building types. And there'll be some quest, there'll be maybe a new ritual or two, and it'll be like, this is cool, and it'll probably gauge my interest for about 5 hours, because I bet you that's how long the DLC is, and then I'll move on.
Now, I got a question. Is there an endless... Oh my gosh, I cannot speak. I'm sorry. Is there an endless aspect to this game, or is it... Do you feel like you're kind of complete with it? Because that's, I think, one key thing about rogue-ish games is that... having that loop of being able to just go back in and feel satisfied with a run and just the run itself. Do you think that this game has that, or is it lacking that?
So now I'm like, before I compared that the first part of the game to Stardew, I'm going to compare the second half of the game to Hades.
Okay.
In Hades, you have the 3 levels of hell, and then you have Hades himself, right? Mm-hmm. And even after you beat the game, you can keep going in, and you can have those limiters that make things harder, and you can push yourself for fun, and you can just have, you can do it. And because it's one big world that starts and begins and ends the same way, that works. Like, even after I have the platinum in Hades, is like, maybe I want to run Hades again. I can do that. Here, because it's 4 separate worlds, how it works is every time you go into a crusade, so let's say you go into the first level, the Darkwood, you have to make it from the starting point through that little map that I was talking about to the end point, and the end point is always another roguelike dungeon map. And at the end of it, there's a door with the final boss behind it, but the first time you get there, it marks a pip off and it says you're done. And you have to beat the map 4 times before you can beat the final boss. Once you do, it opens back up, and you can go back in to like get resources or whatever. And there's some trophy stuff I'll talk about in a second with that. But what it does is it lets you at any time go through and like you can fight the mini bosses. They add harder mini bosses, or at any time you can fight the final boss again anytime you want at the beginning of one of the normal like enemy maps. But it's not like Hades, where it's like I gotta go through the first level, I fight the boss, I go through the second level, I fight the boss, third boss, and I fight Hades and it's over. Because of the fact that you can fight the end boss at any time you want, and if you don't, you just go through some mini bosses again and you get to the end and they're like, all right, get out. It just feels like you're only there to gather resources or to chase down these very specific trophies.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
So like I don't feel the same kind of like gratification of doing a run after I've already beat it that like I would in Hades.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once you beat it, and so the reason you go back is really simple. So there's 4 trophies in the game for beating each of those 4 bosses without ever taking a hit of damage. Like you have to get through it flawlessly. There's also on the overmap, when you're at your fucking cult, when you're at your town, there's these other places you can go to, and for each one of the 4 dungeons you unlock a new place you can go. Like you can go to this place that's on the coast and you can fish for food, and there's another one where you go to like this area where this mushroom guy will sell you mushrooms that you can use to hypnotize followers. There's one that's just a little shack where you can go play a gambling game, and then there's one that's you can spend money to try and get more money later, like you can invest money. And so there's one of the guys, I think it's the one there's a Smuggler's Cove where the guy's like, I need the eyeballs of the harder mini bosses after you beat the guy. So when you beat the final boss, you go back in there, there'll be these random harder mini bosses called the Witnesses. And so I'm going back there to get those eyes because I need it for a guy to get an upgrade, to get a thing that's for a trophy. And that's the only reason I do it. I'm not just going back in there for fun.
Okay.
Because there's better ways to make resources. Now, there are some resources you have to do that in. Like, there are these flowers that only grow in one of the areas. You can go back and try and get seeds because you want those flowers to build better health bays. Like, if one of your flowers gets sick, you have to put them in these, like, little, like, health huts. And the way that they get better is by feeding them these flowers. But you can just grow those. There's also 2 upgrade materials that are like crystals that you have to go into the 3rd area and you just have to randomly find them and smash them in like the background. And then the 4th one is like spider web. So it's like, yeah, if I wanted to build super cool thing, I would have to go back. But also at that point, it's like, I just don't really give a shit.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part of the roguelike is when you kind of hit that wall and just say, "Oh, I don't want to do this."
I'm sounding a little like harsh on this game. I do like this game. No, I'm just saying I think it's like this to me feels like I saw a shitload of people cosplaying as the Lamb at PAX. It got very popular very fast.
Yes.
Because I think that what it is a nicer, easier to get in version of Hades mixed with a weird fucked up Animal Crossing where you're like summoning devils and fucking feeding shit. I put your wife in my cult. Your wife was one of my cult members. You can name your cult members. I named one Soup, and then my other cult member, who I named after Jared, said, "Let's play a fun prank on Soup. Why don't you feed her a bowl of poop?" Because you can make different like foods, like you can feed them berries, grass, whatever. One is you can just feed them a bowl of shit. And so I fed your wife a bowl of shit.
Damn.
Then Jared said, let's do it again. I fed your wife a second bowl of shit. Then your wife sat up and said, hey, you know what I like the taste of now? Shit. So, that kind of thing. Everyone's making the joke. The meme is, ha, 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 you can feed people shit. Ha, ha. So it's definitely got a little bit of internet joke, ha, ha, that's making it take off. But, like, is this game meant for hardcore fucking, rogue gamers? No. Is it fun and is it meant for everybody? Yeah. And so that's why I think it's taking off. But it's definitely, like, on a scale of 1 to 5 for difficulty, it's like a solid... If you're not trying for those trophies, it's like a solid 2. Also, it's got, like, variable difficulty ratings. So it's like, I played it on normal. You could... there's like a very easy you could put it on, I think.
Oh, that's fair. See... That's, I think we're going to start seeing this trend of rogue-esque games that are built more on the Hades principles, and in this game, of
Hades is still 100% the best roguelite I think I've ever played.
I don't I
Not
don't
ready
think
to play it again.
I don't think I could say that just because I think like Binding of Isaac is just
not a roguelite.
good.
That's not a roguelite.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's a roguelite.
While there is like you can so the difference there is that while you can upgrade things to get later and get different characters, the game is always the same. Like you don't get any power upgrades,
right?
And it's all random anyway. So I think that more is a roguelike. And trust me, I fucking love Binding of Isaac.
Do you think we start seeing that be the cross section, or like that's the fork in the road now? Is that we are going to have rogue likes, that those will be like the challenging, or maybe challenging isn't the most appropriate word, but a more of a challenge game versus the rogue light being the kind of more casual entry into that kind of weird genre.
Hades,
games, right?
Hades is a roguelite, and I definitely wouldn't call it casual.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, Hades had that God mode feature to like make it easier for people, so you could play casual. Maybe I don't. You know what? I don't fucking know.
It's weird. I think we're in like a very interesting period with rogue games because I feel they are, they're cost-effective games. They're usually, I don't think they're as like, money dependent on making as like in Elden Ring or whatever AAA titles you see come out nowadays. So it's easier for an indie developer to make, but then also when they come out, they're also like $20-$30 maybe. So they're a little bit more.
How much Cult of the Lamb? I want to say Cult of the Lamb was 30.
I think it was 30. I'd put money on it being 30.
That sounds right.
But that's the thing is, I feel like we're seeing, just the new renaissance of rogue games coming out, and it's kind of interesting to see them separating a little bit, I guess, or at least showing it more now than they used to. Because I feel like, it was $25. So right,
even better.
But that's the thing is, I feel like we're getting the more casual player over to the rogue now, which is awesome because make more rogue games. I fucking love that genre so much. But yeah, I think I really want to see a new rogue like. It's so hard to remember. Why do they have to both be rogue L words? Let's just call them. That's
the new HBO show, the Rogue L word.
The Rogue L.
So really quickly, the trophies in Cult of the Lamb. If you're looking to platinum this, so there was a problem, like I said, with one of the trophies for getting all of the. You can get different types of followers, different animals. Like there's a hedgehog. I made you a blue hedgehog, or like you can find like a wolf by doing this long quest line. There was one to get a snail where you had to kill snails in the second dungeon. They just randomly, these little critter snails would pop up and you have to kill them and get their shells and then give them to these hidden shrines in all the different worlds. But the problem was they just weren't dropping shells. But now that that's fixed, you can get them. I'd say that this is a pretty easy platinum now. The hardest part of this platinum is definitely the beating the 4 bosses without taking damage. But there's a really easier way to do that too, which is, so you can get these different fleeces, which is the little cape that the lamb wears, that little red cape he's wearing. There's one that's a golden fleece that basically what it does is every time you kill an enemy in the crusade, you get a stacking damage multiplier. But if you get hit, it reverts to 0. And while you're wearing it, you take double damage. But the thing is, if you can get good enough in that game, you can get through without getting hit. So it's like what you do is you go through a dungeon, you get your multiplier up to like, it's still on computer. It says it like times on like times 10 damage, whatever. On the console, it says like plus 3 damage or whatever. So I don't really know what the difference is, but you just get that multiplier up to like every person you kill on console gives you 0.1 extra damage on a swing. Okay. And so, for every 10 enemies, you get plus 1 damage. The axe or the hammer, which I was using, like the hammer, there's a hammer that swings for like, let's say 10 damage. So 10 damage is a lot. You think it's like, 10 doesn't sound that much, but they never say numbers, but it's like bosses have like maybe 100 or 200 health.
Okay.
So 10 is not bad. The thing is, if you can up that and get higher damage output, all you got to do is
hit it like 2 or 3 times.
Hit like 2 or 3 times without getting hit once. And on the couple of those bosses, really simple. The third boss is kind of hard because it like throws out these waves of fucking bullet hell stuff. But you always have a weapon and a curse. A curse is like your ranged option, and it's got ammo. But I got one. Like there's one that makes you invincible for a couple seconds. There's one that puts an area around you that deflects all projectiles. So it's like if you just find a good curse, you're good. Yeah, also, you know how like when you're like in Hades, you get the boons.
Yeah.
In Cult of the Lamb, it's tarot cards, and some of those tarot cards are fucking broken. Like I got one that made all of my curses do basically double damage. So that stacking damage buff also works on your curses. So it's like I got, plus 10 damage, and then I did double damage, and I went into this boss and just fucking shot him twice with the curse I had, which was like a homing beacon that shot out 5 projectiles, and each one did
full damage.
Like the full damage.
Holy
so
shit.
I just shot him twice and just watched him fucking melt in 4 seconds.
Jeez.
So there's ways to break it.
Right.
Other than that, all the other trophies aren't that hard. It's like there's these little there's like a quest to relight the lighthouse at the fish place. There's one for catching all the fish, finding all the tarot cards, getting all the different types of followers, getting all the different types of fleeces, doing all the doctrines, winning all the games of that. Every time that you go through an area for the first time, you'll find a guy just talking like you'll go to this kind of middle part where a guy's just like, hey, I was lost out here, but you found me. I'm going to go hang out at this house and we can play Knuckle Bones if you want. Knuckle Bones is the game, the mini game they made up for betting. And it kind of works like, how do I explain it? It's a dice game. You've got 3 lanes of 3 dice. And how it works is when you roll a die, 1 through 6, and you can put it in one of the lanes. If you put a number in a lane that the other person already has that number in, it deletes all of their number. If you put the same number in your line twice, it multiplies the number. So like if you had 2 2s, they'd be each worth 4, so now you have 8 points. But if I put a 2 in that same lane, it deletes your 2s. And it's the game ends when somebody fills up all 9 of their spots, and whoever's got the higher stat wins. It sounds complicated, but once you play it like once, it's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty simple.
Yeah. And so you have to win against each competitor once. It's super simple. It's mostly just, unlock everything, fully upgrade your cult, get all the weapons, get all the curses, have 666 gold coins, which is not that hard. One of the longer ones is sacrificing 10 followers. So you just have to, one of the rituals you can do is a sacrifice where you sacrifice him to the one who waits. It goes down to the devil. And it's got a cooldown, so you got to do it 10 times. So it just takes some time. That's what you do with old people. So this game, how it works is that your followers all have an age, and every day they get a little bit older, and eventually once they hit like I think 50, which isn't 50 days, it's like they're just 50 for some reason, but once I think they gain like 2 or 3 years of life every day. Anyway, once they're old, all they do is take up resources because they don't do any work. You can't get anything from them, so they're just there, and then they'll just die, and if they die, everyone just starts throwing up and vomiting all around them.
What the fuck?
So you have to clean that up and get rid of it. But what you can do with old people before they die is sacrifice them to the devil, and then that gets all your followers like you more, and it gets you more devotion. Or I had another ritual where I could ascend them to the heavens, which was also just like letting a demon eat them or something, and it just made everybody like me more. But then you can raise them from the dead, because if you want, you can take a resurrection ritual. And if you do that, they come back at the original age that they entered your cult. Like with you, I resurrected you like 6 times.
Hell yeah. Fucking.
I just wouldn't let you die. Our good friend Brad Shango, I got him, and I gave him this necklace so he never had to sleep. And then he died, and I took the necklace away. And then I gave the necklace to someone else, and then I brought him back to life, and he didn't have his necklace anymore. And then I told actual Brad that, and he got really pissed and asked where his necklace was. And I never gave it back to him. That made me happy.
Necklace to me because I've never fucking slept.
I gave you a necklace that extended your life by double.
That's pretty good.
And then I married you, and then I made you smooch me.
Oh no!
It gave me extra devotion.
Do not make art of this.
No, don't do that. And then I sacrificed you to the devil and then brought you back. And then I used the summoning circle to turn you into a demon so that you would help me on my crusades. And you turned into a big giant bomb that would just explode on people.
Sounds awesome. I want to be a fucking demon in real life. Okay,
the demon summoning circle. Hey. Pro tip out there, if you're playing this game, build the demon summoning circle as fast as you can. It doesn't kill your followers to turn them into demons. It's temporary. What it is right before you go on a crusade, you can turn 3 at the top level of the demon summoning circle. You can turn 3 people into demons. There's 6 different type of demons that are randomly. Each person can randomly turn into one type of demon. There's only 3 good ones, and you can only bring one of each different type. So, like, there's a demon that turns into a big exploding bomb. There's one that turns into a melee weapon that'll randomly, well, not randomly, but like every 3 seconds will attack someone. There's one that'll turn into a ranged attack every 5 seconds will attack someone. Then there's one where you start with some extra soul hearts, which are like shield hearts, where if you get hit, they go away, but you can't refill them back up. They're temporary hearts.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that will grab extra ammo. It's called fervor. That's what you use for curses. And then there's another one that's so stupid I don't even remember it. And those ones suck. You just want to get a good of the 3 attack ones. You want to get an exploder, a good melee, and a good range. And the higher the level, because your people can level up. They have little bars, and as they become more devoted and you do quests and you give them food and you talk to them, they'll gain levels. By the time the game was over, you were at level 9 or 8 or something. My highest level people were you, Jared, and Brad.
That's the way it should be.
And then I think your wife was right behind you. And so, level them up and then just make them demons. And then when you get back from the crusade, win or lose, all that happens is that they're really sleepy and they have to go to bed. Because they're all tired. Anyway, for fun, I would give this game a gold. For trophies, I would also now that it's fixed, I would give this game a gold. I think it's a very fun game. You'll definitely hear me talk about it at the end of the year. I think it's a little on the simplistic side, but for people who aren't hardcore roguelite gamers like us, it's a really fun game. I like the art style. I like the humor. I'm not looking to immediately play it again and get that other platinum, but a couple months from now, I can see I want to do that again. And I bet now that I know how to do it and build the proper town, I could probably platinum that game in under 10 hours.
Damn.
But yeah, that's Cult of the Lamb.
Sick.
What have you been playing? Yeah, that's all I've.
That's all you've been playing?
I bought 2 new games. I bought as soon as I landed, I went and I picked up The Last of Us Part 1 and the TMNT Cowabunga collection. So expect me to talk about those next time.
TMNT, awesome. Wait, is that a physical?
Yeah.
Fuck, I need to get that then, because I thought it was a digital only game.
No, it's physical. And if you buy the PS4 when it comes with a free upgrade to PS5, so you can get it twice.
That's not bad.
The trophies for that one are really simple. It's literally just beat every game.
Damn. And I want to play that. So, I saw that come out, and the fact that
Jared just told me it's got online co-op too. So
shit,
you can play Turtles in Time with people.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
It did not come with I didn't get any. I opened it up expecting there to be a little slip for a free pepperoni personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut, and I did not get one.
I thought that was only coming with the
I thought it was coming with both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was the new one.
Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah. Which I still haven't played.
It should have been in both.
Or at least,
what have you been playing?
Maybe I did. Dude, I've been playing fucking the most pro gamer fucking game ever. Minecraft. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's pretty fucking good.
I hate this conversation.
No, I played that. I played a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege for the first time with our good friend James, and the game is cool. I just feel like the biggest baby playing it though. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just walking around hoping not to fall down, and it's it's a really just intense game, and I think my biggest complaint with it is just the amount of time you spend not playing the game just to play the game is too much. I wish the character picks were quicker, or there was a more casual mode where you just picked one, class that you were going to play, and then you play 3 rounds with it, and then that's that. Because most of the game is, I think you have maybe 5 minutes to infiltrate, whatever house or place that the terrorists are in. Get in there and get the bomb or get the hostage and get out, right? And most of the time, you're never going to do the objective. You're just going to kill the opponents, and then that's that. But I don't know. It's just that little bit of time, and if you die, if you get shot once, you're probably dead. So if you're really good, you get to play the game. And if you're new, you don't get to play the game. You just get to lay on the floor and watch people play the game while then waiting to go back to the character select screen to select a character. And then you got to go to the, hey, where are we going screen? And then once you go there, then you have to wait another 30 seconds for everyone to just deploy drones while the terrorists get set up. So it's a lot of just waiting. And then once you actually get to play, it's like, well, I hope I don't die in the first minute, So I don't know. I do like it though. I think it is fun. It's just I don't know. The game's been out for 7 years now, and I feel like if people had been or have been playing this for 7 years and dealing with that the whole time, it's like, oof, you must really like the game because there's just so much waiting. And if anyone knows, listen to the show, I hate fucking waiting in games. So I don't know if I will play more of it. If friends say, hey, let's play it, I'm down to play it, but I don't ever see myself playing by myself because it just seems very daunting. And maybe I'm ready for the next Rainbow Six whenever that happens, whatever that is. Maybe I'll jump in on that one and be there on the ground floor, so at least I know how to play or whatever. Or everyone has that early gaming we're still trying to figure out the metagame and stuff. And then I can be there and figure out with them because I think that's where I am, with Multiverses, is that I got in when the game came out. It's still new. We're still figuring out the meta. We're still figuring out what works, what doesn't. And I like being at that point instead of being at the end of the game where everyone knows what they're doing. And then I just can't figure it out. So I've been playing a little bit of that. And of course, I've been playing a game that I don't want to mention yet because we are probably going to do it for the show, but it has been a fun chill time. I've just been needing a lot of chill games in my life because life has been hectic this last month, and it's just about to get even more hectic over the next 60 days. So yeah,
no, it's gonna be fine. Everything's normal, right? It's all gonna be good.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just that. So I've kind of when I do have downtime where I'm like, oh, I don't want to play this game, which is, the homework for the show, or I don't want to play, something competitive. Minecraft has kind of been the game that I've been going back to just because it's just so easy to turn the brain off and just walk forward and build a cool little sandcastle, So, yeah, that's really. I've been really wanting to play card games lately too, but no one.
Hey, if you want to play a card game, Inscription just got put on PS4 and PS5.
That's true.
Play Inscription. Did that make it on our top 10?
No, but that should that I can.
A much better game than Nickelodeon All Stars.
I'll give you that one. So we'll bump Forza out. Nickelodeon is now the 10th best, and Inscription will sit there somewhere. And
then we'll bump out Nickelodeon and put Chicory there, and then everything's fine. And then we'll also get rid of Final Fantasy 14.
No, you got to play that. PAX is over.
Yeah, I could if I wanted
to, but you don't want to.
I want to play The Last of Us Part 1.
Oh God. Hey, that episode did very well, so thank you everyone for listening to that episode. That was very cool.
I'm expecting some emails. Yeah, we asked about Tenet shit.
I think I don't know.
What was the thing that I said? Do you understand the reference?
I don't.
And then you were like, I don't remember.
I don't know.
Shit, what was the whole thing that it was just like, did you get the reference I made? Ha ha ha. You'll understand it.
It was because of Bully, right?
No, that was the one I said at the end, but I also said people email in if you got the reference. Hopefully somebody emailed in and reminds me what the reference I made.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if you remember what the reference is.
Let's fuck with, hey, hold on. We said we were going to do this last time. Let's fuck with Omar and let's do the fucking
Let's do
the
it.
emails right now. Cut all that out.
I'm cutting it out. Don't worry. I got this.
But leave in this part where I say cut that out. This is a bad podcast.
Why does anyone listen to this?
I don't know. At least a couple people listen to it. I had a couple people come up to me at PAX and be like, hey, podcast. I was like, oh, they got
No, don't worry.
So what are we doing?
What are we
Tylon
doing?
email.
Tylon? Is it Tylon talk?
Tylon talk. Dickities.
I saw Tylon at PAX.
Did you say hi? Did Tylon say hi?
Yeah, we hung out for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Maybe Tylon got the reference, and then he'll be like, I got the reference. This was the reference, and then I'll remember the reference. This is going to bother me.
Yo, we got Tylon talk. So let's see. Tylon, our good friend, his weekly column in this podcast.
I like calling it a column. That's funny.
It's a response to the great Naughty Dog debate. Hey, Doc and Chris. I really enjoyed the Naughty Dog episode of I Have More Trophies Than You, and I have a response to the great Naughty Dog debate that may result in me getting blacklisted again.
That'd be nice.
This might be the end.
Yep, let's get fucking... Hey, do you know they're putting out Cyberpunk DLC? Anyway,
yeah, I just saw that. It's
on PS5 only. I'll play it.
Who? Really?
Yeah, I'll play it. I need to replay that game on PS5. Anyway, go ahead. What is he going to say? At some point, I'm going to hit the no button and we're going to cut him off. So go ahead.
Crash Bandicoot series is awesome. Sorry,
all right,
Doc.
cut him off. We're done here.
Thank you, Tylon.
Tylon is banned until November. All right, go ahead.
And you're wrong, and always will be wrong about that gold rating. I have no opinion about the Jack series because I never played them. I was more focused on Ratchet and Clank.
I said this is over. Why are you still reading it?
Oh, because I can't wait for him to say like Last of Us sucks or something like that. Wouldn't that be great?
Keep going.
And if you at home disagree, fucking write in. And
if you agree with me, write in. If you agree with Chris, fuck off. Go ahead.
I may play. He says that he may play the Jack and Daxter series in the future. Uncharted is a good cinematic experience, which is why I confused them. Or why I was confused about them making a movie when you could just play the game and have a similar / better experience.
The movie's good. Tom Holland is fun. And they get in a fight in a Papa John's. Go ahead.
Hey, but I agree with you, Tylon, because again, why make these cinematic movie games when you could just also make movies?
You can do both. Fuck off. Go ahead. What's next?
I only played the second one and enjoyed it a lot. Though I feel no need to play the others because I feel like I won't get anything new that I already have from the second game.
Sounds bad.
That's fair. I understand that.
No, I don't. The games are good. Go ahead. I've played the first one, but I bet the other ones are good.
I heard the second one was the best one, so maybe that's the one. Last of Us 1 is great.
Yeah.
While The Last of Us 2...
Oh.
Story is underwhelming and falls apart at the very end.
Stop. It's the dumbest thing I've ever... No, there's no laughs. That's incoherently wrong. The ending of that story is a masterpiece, and it shows how hatred erodes the human soul. What a great fucking game. Tylon is banned for all of... Tylon can't write in until after Halloween.
Damn.
We're banning it. He gets a 3-episode suspension.
Oh, fuck. Tylon, I'm
3
so
episodes
sorry.
seems a little harsh. 1 episode suspension. No Tylon talk next episode.
You've been suspended. You're on waivers.
Come back in October when you realize what good storytelling is.
Tylon,
fuck. That's the cool thing about PAX I forgot to talk about.
Because it's in Seattle and you like relived the game.
Me and Frank and Jared and Brian went to a Last of Us 2 whiskey tasting premiere. They made a whiskey based on The Last of Us 2 called Moth and the Wolf. It was fine. It tasted good. It was whiskey. But it was like, this is a 9-year single barrel aged blended Scotch whiskey. And I was like, and we made it for The Last of Us 2. It's like, no, you fucking didn't. That game came out 2 years ago. How'd you make a 9-year-old Scotch? You just bought a fucking vintage and put your fucking sticker on it. It was good.
That's exactly.
But the guy they flew out to was like the dude who made it in Scotland was like, yes, the smooth undertones remind you of Jackson and the safety of everything, and the fire represents, you know, the vicious hatred of the villages on fire at the end of the. I was like, you're just making shit up.
I was saying, no, it doesn't. It makes me think of whiskey.
It makes me think of whiskey, and they put a bunch of Last of Us shit on the bottle. Now, here's the cool part about that. So this guy talks and goes through a guided whiskey experience, whatever. It tasted fun. And then fucking all of a sudden Neil Druckmann comes out and Frank loses his fucking mind. And he's like, hey, you know, I'm really happy that we did this, you know, collaboration, blah, blah, blah. He's nice, but you can tell whatever. And then he's like, and then also here's this. And then Troy Baker comes out and plays a 40-minute acoustic guitar set of songs he wrote as Joel.
What the fuck?
It was good, but it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah,
but like he's a good musician.
Okay, well that's good.
Like, I take it back. It wasn't all written like as Joel. It was like just a bunch of shit that he wrote that's all acoustic guitar that is indicative of The Last of Us. But one that he wrote was literally like if Joel and Tommy went on a road trip and were at bars and it was fucking weird.
What the fuck?
It was cool. I was wearing one of my bootleg shirts, the one that's like Yu-Gi-Oh! And the rock. You know those shirts I have that are just fucking stupid. I was wearing it says Yu-Gi-Oh! At the bottom. And it's got the rock, and it's got Link from Ocarina of Time. It's got Britney Spears. And at the end, I went up to Neil Druckmann. I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know." Or I didn't say it like that. I was like, "Hey, Last of Us 2 is probably one of the best stories I've ever played. I think it's one of the best well-written things I've ever experienced." And he goes, "Thank you for saying that. It's usually I either hear that or I want to kill you." And I was like, "Oh no, that's the first one." And then I was like, Troy Baker's like, "Yo, love your work." And he's like, "Yo, what is this shirt?" So I got to meet Troy Baker, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" I was like, "I don't know, it's fun." Troy Baker rules. Neil Druckmann rules. All of that weird Scottish whiskey guy seemed like he was a nice guy. Everyone was fun. We got cool etched whiskey glasses with the Moth and the Wolf logo. It was a great time. That's the thing I love about PAX. The PAX show is whatever. All of my memories of PAX are weird things like that, like weird parties or after parties or meeting somebody and just, you know, whatever. So it's like, sure, not much happened at PAX, but I got to sit in a room and get free drinks while Troy Baker, you know, played all these weird songs that he wrote, and they were good. So
that's cool. Like I like that. That sounds fun. That sounds more fun than PAX. So
yeah, that was good. Before we suspend him, was there anything else from Tylon?
Yeah. You want me to go?
If it's anything about how The Last of Us 2 isn't good, you can skip that part.
Well.
Yeah, skip all that and then get to the end.
I don't know. I'm going to hear out what he says.
I don't.
Then just mute your mic for a second.
No, veto. I'm vetoing this. This is half my podcast, and I don't want
to. P.S. Wrestling question.
Okay, there we go.
In your personal opinion, what makes a good wrestling storyline? Also, what kind of wrestler do you always like to see whenever you're watching shows?
Is it just his opinion on why it's not good, or does he ask questions?
I don't know. I didn't read it. I'm gonna
take my. You fucking read it really quick and just read it fast. And if it's bad, I'll be like,
Sonny, you gotta shit or get off that pot someday.
Fuck you. This is my podcast to do what I want.
All right.
But it is also your podcast.
Yes. Okay.
I'm indecisive.
All right, Tylon says, I've heard the vengeance is bad, in quotes, moral too many times, and this game did nothing different to make it feel unique.
I take it back.
If Ellie's gonna have a bad ending no matter what, why not finish it? Why not finish what you've started, as she already
learns and grows. She learns and grows.
Do you see the growth though? Like at the end, after like the big old fight in the water, because it kind of just seemed like
because that's the thing is that spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2.
No one cares about spoilers.
I am being polite. She fucking hunts down Abby. They have no, we're gonna fight, and they fight, and like Ellie has her fucking dead to rights, and Abby bites her 2 fingers off, and she still could kill her, and she realizes like I can't fucking do this anymore, and lets her go, and just like never fucking look for me again. They part their ways, and then she goes back to her homestead, and I'm spacing on her girlfriend's name, Ellie's girlfriend with the baby. I don't remember her name. She goes there. She's fucking gone. She packed up. She's like, I told you if you left, I wouldn't be here when you got back, and she can't. And her guitar's there, and she picks it up, and she tries to play the song that Joel wrote for her. And because she's missing her 2 fingers, she literally can never play the song that is the one thing that connects her back to Joel. Her life is forever fucking marred by this, and she realizes what she did to herself. She realizes that how much she fucked up, and just says, I've got to put that all behind me and move on and learn from it. And she gets her pack and just leaves this house in the middle of nowhere with all this stuff and just walks into the woods, and we never know what happens to her. It's such a poignant ending.
Until Last of Us Part 3.
Which will probably never happen. Neil Druckmann has pretty much said, I think Neil Druckmann has pretty much said he's done.
Really? Like with just that franchise, or because aren't they doing
with with Ellie? She's done with. He's done. So it's like, yeah, they're going to do the multiplayer game, but it's not having anything to do with Ellie. It's just going to be people in the apocalypse. They'll probably do more Last of Us stuff in the future. It'll be like a thing where they do spin-offs, and it won't be him. It'll be other people, and it'll just be like in the apocalypse. But like the story of Ellie and Joel is done.
Okay. You know what?
Until Last of Us 6, when they do the new storyline, all of a sudden Ellie pops in and she's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think this world, the Last of Us, has the staying power to be able to branch into other stories like that? Granted, this is totally a question I should have probably asked in the last one, because that's where I stand in the Walking Dead realm. I don't think that story works without Rick. Rick has got to be your main character, and once he is gone, the story is over. Much like the comic spoilers.
See, but I would disagree, because I feel like they did a really good job with Clementine in the Walking Dead video games.
Yeah, you are right there. But then again, is it really? Is it anything different? You know, is it
the only
just
thing that
zombie?
The only thing that bridges the Walking Dead, the Telltale video games, and the Walking Dead, the comics, is that there's zombies, and that if you die, you become a zombie no matter what.
I think
so. It's like, but I could say with The Last of Us, all you have to do is just make another good pointed story about something and put it in a universe where there's weird mushroom clicker men, and if you breathe in the weird fumes, you be turned into a mushroom clicker man.
I guess that's my only thing. Is like, is this just going to become another sticker series where we just kind of slap that name onto things and kind of just do it?
It's weird. It might not, because on one hand, Naughty Dog hasn't really been known to do that, but B, it makes a shit ton of money, and Sony loves money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait and I'll reserve judgment on this question until I see what they do with the multiplayer game. Which, like I said, I still am excited about, because I like the idea of just like tooling around San Francisco. And we'll see what that's all about, because it won't have Ellie, and it won't have Abby, and it won't have Joel, and it won't have any of these characters. Who knows? It might not even have Fireflies. It might not have it won't have the Washington Liberation Front, so there'll be no wolves. It won't have the fucking weird, I forget the cult's name, the weird cult people. It'll just be all new shit.
Yeah.
We'll go from there.
That might be cool. Yeah, it's cool to have a game in Seattle because I live there. But the forgiveness is good, vengeance is bad, good, bad part feels lame.
I feel like, unfortunately, and no offense to our friend Thailand, but I believe you're being a little too glib and just being too overall with it, when it's not just, vengeance is bad. It's like, here is exactly fucking why. Mm-hmm. Here is a story of someone tainted and poisoned by hatred and vengeance, and see where it gets them.
Yeah.
And sure, it's like, vengeance is bad. It's like, no, this is not just, it's bad. It's, here's fucking why it's bad. And that's why it's so good.
Right. If they gave you the option to choose Ellie and Abby's actions at the end of the game and given you multiple endings, I wouldn't have been as harsh on it. But they didn't do that. They must have been drunk.
I disagree about giving people the choice, because guess what? It's not fucking about you when you play this game. You're seeing Neil Druckmann's story, and he's showing you what he wants to write and what he wanted to do, and he got the ending he wanted. To give you the choice, 95% of those people would have fucking, hey, listen, I love The Last of Us 2, and I get the story, but if you give me the chance at the end of, do you spare her for the story, or do you fucking just stab Abby in the throat? I'm throat stabbing.
Yeah. Like,
I get the whole story, and I get, like, making Abby seem human at the end, and, like, she's not the monster that she was to Joel, but just check out my homie Joel. She got to die. I wanted her dead to rights, no matter what I learned, because I'm not as good a person as Ellie.
Right.
But but it's still a good story. So I disagree with giving a choice because gamers will always choose wrong.
I think that
hell, the fucking people yelling about the game before it came out shows that fucking gamers are wrong.
I'm going to agree with you here on this point because I do like having multiple choices and multiple endings and all that kind of stuff in games, but I think you are pretty correct in your synopsis of it. It is a story about this one particular thing. And the way that you have to convey that and get to that point is the way that the game was written and how the game was finished. So I think that having choice in that kind of dilutes it a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily, necessary for it to have a choice or not. When you have like a direct vision, I'll give them credit on that. At least, stick to your guns, stick to the story that you want to tell. But yeah, I kind of understand wanting it, but at the same time, it's like for story purposes, totally understand why they didn't do that. He finishes out just saying that honestly, Naughty Dog needs a new IP that's completely different from anything they've done. Because the last time Naughty Dog impressed me was the Uncharted 2. And I'm I don't know. I think that's just, for me, everyone I think needs a new IP. I think we need to.
That's not a problem with Naughty Dog. That's a problem with Sony. Once again, Sony loves money.
Right. And that's not even just a problem with Sony. That's a problem with literally every company right now. And the thing is
it's hard to get new PIs or IPs out
but
there.
Even that, it's like you have to look at the state we're in right now. You can't do a new IP in this.
What's the last big game that was a new IP?
I mean, Cyberpunk really tried to be, but even that's built on an old IP of
that's not new IP.
Yeah, it's not, is it? What was a new? Really, I couldn't tell you. Oh my gosh, this is a good question. Let's see.
New last game that took the world by storm that was a new IP.
Yeah.
Can't say Fortnite because this is a bunch of IPs in the same shell.
Yeah, that's more of like a collection of everything than Horizon. Horizon's a new IP. But
Horizon was a new IP. That was PS4, but that was 2017.
Right. So still 5 years ago.
And as much as we love Horizon, it wasn't the biggest thing.
Right. I'm trying to think.
But once again, that wasn't really a big. Like I'm talking like big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
These are all good games, but like nothing big has come out in a while that was a new IP.
Really, the biggest IP, the one that I think splashed the most and has had staying power, it's Minecraft. Yeah, that's exactly it. It was.
That was 2009 or 2010 or whatever.
I think. Yeah, 2011, I think. So it's been out for 10 plus years at this point. But yeah, there really hasn't.
Tylen's not actually on the shelf. I was just doing it. As far as the wrestling question he asked, I don't know. I want to see people beat each other up. I like wrestling when it's either A, funny, B, compelling, or C, shocking. Mm-hmm. Like, I could never see that coming. So all the shit going on right now, everyone's like, it's a work. It's got to be work. I just wanted to stop having to worry that everything in wrestling is fucking breaking down around me.
Yeah. I don't know enough to say. I like to watch faces, though. I think they're really fun. I like the hero, But when it comes to a storyline, I don't fucking know shit. Like, I think they're all pretty dumb and goofy. I kind of wish it were just more focused on the sport, I guess. The acrobatics, what happens in the ring. I don't care what happens outside of the ring. Like, I just want to know what's going on inside the ring. So I don't know. I just want to see people kick each other. That's it. If I want a storyline with this kind of style of like storytelling, where wrestling is, I'll just watch tokusatsu stuff like Kamen Rider and Super Sentai because it's the same thing with better storylines.
All of the dirt sheets are saying they're gonna have to fire CM Punk.
Was that like a part of the show, like, or did he actually assault somebody?
So here's what happened. They had a pay-per-view on Sunday. At the end of it, he won the title. Then afterwards, they do what's called a media scrum, where it's basically everyone who from the big matches goes and talks to the media and the press. And
Right.
Tony Khan, who's the guy that owns AEW, is there sitting with him. And CM Punk comes up and apropos of nothing, just starts talking shit on Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is his former friend who they used to be like inseparable best friends. He used to have a podcast called The Art of Wrestling. After Punk left WWE, he came on and he did a podcast with Colt Cabana where he basically just talked shit on the WWE and all these things that it was pissing him off. And he talked about their doctor, Chris Amon, who basically misdiagnosed a staph infection and almost killed CM Punk through giving him what are called Z-Packs. It's an anti...
I've had a Z-Pack before.
The fuck's the word I'm looking for? It's an antibiotic. Sorry. And Chris Amon was like, I can lose my fucking license for this. I'm going to sue you. And he sued them. Punk said, don't worry, Colt Cabana. You can use my lawyer. We'll pay for it. Everything will be fine. Halfway through the court case, CM Punk sends a letter to Colt Cabana saying, I've already paid this much, so you have to pay me this much money because I don't want to pay for it anymore. And Colt's like, but you said you were going to pay it. I don't understand. And then all of a sudden, Colt's like, well, you're just trying to scam money out of me. It's like, you came on my show and did this to me. You should pay for lawyers. And then it became a whole thing of like Colt Cabana to sue him for whatever, and they're not friends anymore. Cut to Colt Cabana gets hired in AEW, and he's very well liked by the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, who are executive vice presidents. He's also well liked by Hangman Adam Page, who is the guy that has the title when CM Punk gets there, and a lot of people. So all of a sudden, CM Punk shows up, and mysteriously, Colt Cabana is not on television anymore. And Hangman Adam Page comes out and cuts his promo on live TV, where he's like, I got to save AEW from you. He kind of went into business for himself, as they say. He went off script and basically cut a promo calling CM Punk the bad guy and insinuating that he's, changing things and being a diva and getting people fired. So then CM Punk wins the title from him and has the title, and a couple weeks after winning the title, he jumps off the stage into the crowd in like celebration and breaks his foot.
Oof.
So he has the title, not stripped from him, but he becomes, they do an interim champion. Basically, he's on the shelf with a hurt injury. He comes back a little earlier when people thought, just out of the blue, and he comes back on a show where Hangman Adam Page is not there, and comes out to the ring and says, you know what? I'm better now, and I never gave Hangman a rematch. Why don't you come out and get it right now? Well, Hangman's not there. CM Punk knows that. The crowd doesn't know that. So he goes, just what I thought. And basically says, you're a coward. You're scared of me, and I will not allow you to disrespect me anymore. And it's like, everyone backstage is like, that's really shitty to do because it's not in the script. You're calling him a coward, and he's not even fucking there. So then he has a match with Jon Moxley, who's the interim champion. And Jon Moxley beats him in 4 minutes just by hitting me in the foot. And everyone's like, what the fuck was the point of this match? That was really stupid. Now he looks like a goon. And who are they going to have as the match all out? Then the next day or the next week on Dynamite, CM Punk's walking his dog. And he's like, I'm going to fight back. And I'm going to do it because I'm Chicago. And I do it for all the little people in Chicago. And his friend Ace Steel, who was the guy that trained him, works backstage at AEW. He's like, you got to do it, Punk. You got to do it for Chicago. So then fucking
counting on you,
Moxley comes out and is like, CM Punk's a little bitch. I got an open contract. Who wants to fight me it all out? And then Ace Steel comes out and grabs the contract and goes backstage and gives it to Punk. And then Punk comes out. This is in Chicago. And is like, I'm going to do it for you. And he takes it and he signs it in the crowd. And it was like, yay. And it's like, okay, whatever. This is weird. So then they have their match. And it's an okay match. Jon Moxley's a great wrestler. CM Punk looks fucking gassed. Do you know what gassed means?
Yeah, it's just like kind of burnt out, like kind of
blown up, like out of breath. Like
yeah.
He doesn't have the wind for it. He looks shit the whole match because he just can't do it. And he wins because it's CM Punk in Chicago, and Tony Khan is from Chicago. He went to school in Chicago, and he's a giant fucking mark for CM Punk. And so then they go back to the media scrum, and he sits down, and he's just like, "Yeah, I can't believe I got to sit here." Somebody asked him a question, and he. Not about Colt Cabana about nothing. And all of a sudden, CM Punk's just like, calls him by his real name, Scott Colton, and just goes on a fucking tirade about like, I can't believe I got to talk about this guy. I hate, he's a guy that will never be, he's never a good friend. He's a bad person, blah, blah. It's just really some heinous shit. Then for no reason just adds, yeah, when we subpoenaed him, we found out he shared a bank account with his mom. That's weird. It's like, what? Are you trying to shame the guy? Like, who knows why he has a joint bank account with his mother? Maybe his mom's sick and he's taking care of her, fucking finances. Maybe, there's a lot of reasons. It's really fucking weird shit to do. Then he says, he fucking says, like, and this place is being run with executive vice presidents who couldn't run a Target. And he's like, he's shitting on the Young Bucks. He's shitting on Kenny Omega. He's talking shit on Hangman. And the whole time, like, fucking Tony Khan's sitting there looking like, oh, shit, I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. He keeps trying to end it. And CM Punk, like, this is the guy that owns the company. CM Punk is just talking over him and interrupting him and just making him look like a little fool. And that ends. So then everything now after this point is all reports. Nobody knows the exact story. There's a lot of reporters who have inside information, but nobody knows for sure. But the report is that he goes back to his dressing room. CM Punk goes back to his dressing room. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega bust in and we're like, what the fuck was that? What are you doing? CM Punk in retaliation just punches Matt Jackson, the executive vice president, technically a superior to him, just punches him in the face. That leads to an altercation where they're like breaking him up. Ace Steel, that guy that works behind the stage, all of a sudden walks in, sees a 3-on-1, said that I feared for my wife and CM Punk's dog who were in the room. So you know what he decides to do because he's afraid that his wife might get hurt? He throws a chair at a guy. Nick Jackson throws a chair at him, hits him in the eye, grabs fucking Kenny Omega by the hair and bites him. And at this point, it gets broken up. And now nobody knows what the shit is going on.
Yeah, what is going on fucking at AEW?
Basically, nobody knows. Everyone is reporting. People are like, oh, it's a work. Do you know what that phrase means?
Is it just like it's all scripted? It's all fucking.
Oh, it's a work.
Fiction.
It's fake. We're being worked. This is all.
It's all
not
set
real.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. People say that, and the other people are just like, it's not a fucking work. There's no way this is a work. You need to fire CM Punk. There are a couple of people backstage who are like, no, we're on Team CM Punk, and they're very minimal. And most people are backstage like, you gotta fire this asshole. CM Punk has a history of. You ever heard the phrase, if you meet an asshole in the morning, you met an asshole. If you meet assholes all day, maybe you're the asshole. Yeah.
Because I feel that like my entire life.
There's another phrase that goes, if you meet an asshole in the morning, you met an asshole. If you meet assholes all day, maybe you're the asshole. If you meet assholes for 20 years, you're CM Punk. CM Punk has a history of immediately turning on anyone who even breathes wrong in his direction. So wrestling's like weird. I don't know. We'll see what happens Wednesday. MJF came back. He came out to sympathy for the devil. He's got a whole faction behind him. That'll be cool. I don't know. Wrestling's weird. By the way, this is the bully episode.
Hey, speaking of bullies, I don't know. Should we even like? We're like coasting up to 2 hours right now. We could just fucking call it Cult of the Lamb and PAX.
Yeah, fuck it. Well, yeah. I feel bad because we said we were going to talk about bully.
Look, that's fine. We can pocket it. I mean,
we'll pocket bully for next. When school starts next year, we'll talk about bully.
Yeah, look, there's so much going on.
Can I be completely honest with you? I love this podcast, and you can keep this all in.
Yeah,
I like sometimes it's like, yeah, the structured part is actually the part of this podcast I least look forward to.
Well,
just talking about stuff with you is my favorite part.
Absolutely. Look, hey, I'm gonna peel the onion back a little bit and show you the inside. Right? Sometimes you get everything you need before you even get to work, right? And I feel like that's fine. Sometimes there's going to be that. Sometimes we're going to have so much going on. Like, again, you went to a massive convention this past week. We got to talk about that, right?
Oh, which you called the Cult of PAX.
Yeah. And then, like...
Because that works, too, because CM Punk comes out to the Cult of Personality. Called the Cult of PAXonality.
There we go. See,
that's the name of the episode.
This is the inner workings of how we build an episode, everyone.
Yeah.
We just had too much to talk about this week. And you know what? Sometimes you gotta bump one, you know? You get that 4-minute fight where you're just like, oh, well, I guess CM Punk sat here and talked for 45 minutes and now we gotta cut one of these fights down to
I do want to say for people for people listening who like that part of the podcast, We have some games coming up that I'm very excited to talk about. We've got some structured stuff. October, November, and December, we have pretty much all planned, and I'm excited for almost all of them. So, like, sorry if you were super excited to hear about Bully, but I've had more fun talking about PAX Cult of the Lamb and wrestling.
Yeah, and honestly, like right now, pretty much everything in my life right now is wake up, think about moving. You know, like get processed for moving. We are constantly just, well, what about this place? Because here's what sucks is our place that we're living right now requires us to say we're moving out a full 60 days before we move out.
Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah, it sucks too, because everywhere now that we're contacting, they're like, oh, that's weird. Why are you looking now if you're not moving till like, you know, the beginning of October? Because the goal right now is to hit the road like the 7th of October. And it's like, well, you know, although part of me is like, well, I'm a pretty organized person. Like, I want to figure out what I'm doing before I do it. You know, I'm not, I can be impulsive, but I'm not going to be impulsive about a massive life change. And everyone that we talk like it's that it's so impulsive there right now where it's
the problem with is like it's so like they, you know, people want to move and live there that like when they get a place open they're like, oh yeah, we want to move in 5 days.
Yeah, it is.
So the idea of like we'd like to move in, when can you move in? 60 days from now. I was like, well, I can fill this right now.
And that's the thing is we'll be like, hey, can you FaceTime us a tour, because we're not going to fly out for a tour of one apartment, you know, or one townhouse or a house or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, when can we get you in? We literally live all the way across the country. We can't. Sorry, this is not how it works. Yeah. Oh, well, we'll get you in on Tuesday. How about that? Come in. We'll see you then. Did you read the email?
Did you understand what I just said?
Yeah, we can't do that. Like, so it has just been nothing but that. And then it's like, of course, we do have a schedule of games that we're trying to keep to, and we're really set on these last, 6 episodes of the year. They're pretty good ones. I want to give you that. But yeah, eventually, hey, if we have a big event like PAX happen, sometimes an episode might get bumped. Don't worry. Bully is still going to happen.
Eventually. I feel like the next one is kind of another one where
I've been playing that fucking game, so we were talking about this game.
But the October ones, I've got a little bit of work to do on one of them, but the other one is set. The November games, I'm waiting on one of them to come out. And the November games, I've got one to play and one to do, and I feel like everything's good.
Yeah, we're honestly pretty set. I'm looking at everything right now again. Yeah, everything's like set pretty much in stone. On. December is the only one December is 2nd.
No, December we're waiting for one to come out.
Yeah, December 2nd we're waiting for something. So
No. December 2nd we've got.
Oh yeah, we got that one down. Yeah,
it's the last episode of the year is a special one. I'm just waiting for that.
Right.
December 2nd, I'm going to start soon. I don't remember what the fuck we're playing in November. Just bleep this out when you say it to me right now.
And
that's easy. I've already beaten both those games.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're pretty set.
You didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't hear
any of that.
You fucking
missed out.
They didn't hear any of that.
Everything
legitimately
just said. Yeah, they didn't hear it.
Okay.
We can't spoil what's coming. Can't just show you what dessert's going to be and then expect you to have like.
We reviewed an episode. We gave a rating to a game. The Cult of the Lamb got a gold and a gold. Feel like that's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
This is normally when we would do emails, but if you skipped ahead, Omar, and you're looking for the emails, guess what? We fucked you. They're somewhere in the episode.
Gotcha. My brain is just dead. Do you ever get that where you're just like,
what? Yeah, I just got off a plane and got home,
dude. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
As soon as we hang out, like I already ate some food, but I'm already hungry again. As soon as we hang up, I'm gonna eat some food. I'm gonna play Last of Us. I'm gonna go to bed early and then wake up tomorrow and just get right back to work.
I feel you. Well, hey, did you enjoy this week's episode? Write in. You can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou.
Did someone email in and tell me what the thing that I was going to reveal this episode was that I forgot?
Yeah,
what was the
we're
tenant? Like, I don't remember what I said I was going to talk about this episode. Should have written it down.
Yeah,
but I didn't. What are we playing next time?
Okay.
Oh yeah, So
this is my choice.
I wanted to play Shin-Chan, but the fucking trophy list is unsynced from the network, and I can't earn trophies in it. So we're not doing Shin-Chan anymore.
No. Instead, we're going to kick back to our roots. Go to the easier days of life where all you had to worry about was your farm and your cattle and whatever else is going on in the world, and make personality changes and really figure out what the fuck is going on in this isekai game, because we're going to play Doraemon Story of Seasons.
Wait, it's an isekai?
It's an isekai.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Harvest Moon with that Doraemon cat.
Yeah, but it's
isn't that cat like a prehistoric caveman also? I remember there was
a robot.
What? There were years ago, there was one of the Wrestle Kingdoms, New Japan Pro Wrestling, had a crossover with Doraemon where fucking, oh my gosh, I'm so dead, I can't remember his name. Hiroshi Tanahashi came out dressed like a caveman with a caveman Doraemon.
That's cute. I mean,
I thought he was a caveman man.
No, I mean, so with Doraemon, if I remember correctly, they kind of
Doraemon.
No, Dora the Explorermon. My favorite Digimon. It's all like world jumping, and time space is constantly like tearing in on itself. It's a big.
Isn't this a little weird cat?
Yeah, he's a little cat robot.
But he's a robot.
Yeah.
I didn't know he's a robot.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Anyway, they made a fucking Harvest Moon where you're the cat.
Yeah, and I can't. Well, no, you're Nobi. Like
who's
the
Nobi?
Boy.
Nobi Boy from Nobi Boy?
Well, his name is Nobi.
Is he stretch and then you get him to the moon?
you make boy longer and put inside girl?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately not. Yo, can we just do you think we could do a 2-hour episode on Nobi Boy? Just Nobi. Nothing else. We only talk about Nobi Boy.
No. It's not it's there's no substance there.
I don't know. It could be fun.
We'll tell you what, you're gonna play Doraemon. I'm gonna try to play it while I play The Last of Us and other things.
It's a short game. It's sweet. It's fun.
Come back next episode where one of two things is going to happen. Either we're both going to talk about Doraemon, or Chris is going to talk about Doraemon, and then I'm going to go, you can't believe how good The Last of Us is on the PS5.
In which I will just be like, yeah, it's the same game. You've played it 2 other times on 2 other systems.
I get to play I never got to play the DLC Left Behind. I'm going to finally get to play that. I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited for you. You'll get to experience at least something new. But I hope you have fun playing your remake of a remaster of a game that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I hope you have fun playing your licensed cash grab of a video game that's come out 20 times before on 20 other different systems.
It's so good. It's so cute. Yo, the art style, I can't get on it.
We'll talk about it next time.
Next week.
Until then, we won't talk about it here because this is the end of the episode. I need a organic way to end this episode. And I can't talk about wrestling because we already did.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
what should I get? Oh, here on. When
are you gonna start reading One Piece? You got the fucking Shonen Jump.
Yo. He's the king of the pirates. No, that's not how it goes. After I read Hikaru no Go, I don't know what I'm gonna read next.
One Piece.
Probably
the One Piece is real.
Probably My Hero.
Can we get much higher? No, fuck that shit.
I like My Hero.
My Hero sucks.
What are some weird ones? Maybe I'll read Yu-Gi-Oh because I like games. And that's why I like Hikaru no Go.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The manga is pretty alright.
I read the stuff before it became Duel Monsters when he's sending demons to hell.
Yeah, the fucking season 0 shit where it's just weird shadow games where fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I've got a gun and there's 6 bullets in it and one of them isn't. And it's what? Hang on. We're playing
you're hanging by a thread and this will fall and you'll fall into the shadow dimension and die forever.
Yeah.
There's some good manga that I can read that aren't that are on that app that aren't just straight up One Piece, the big one. Isn't there a cool baseball one?
Oh god, was it 9 Dragons Festival or something like that? I don't know.
What's some good? Hey, write in and tell me what manga I should read on the Shonen Jump app for $2. Is there a way we can get sponsored by the Shonen Jump app?
I got sponsored by Fortnite, which was specifically for the Dragon Ball event.
Why can't I get sponsored?
Well, Nine Dragons Parade. That's what it is. Ball Parade.
There's a boxing one that's pretty good.
Yeah, Hajime no Ippo.
Write in and tell me what I should read. And if you put in either, no one's allowed to say One Piece, Naruto, like those I don't want to hear about. Everyone knows about those ones.
That's the only one.
Shaman. I'm gonna read Shaman King.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
It's not very good.
I remember reading it when I had Shonen Jump.
It's like very.
Just give me some good obscure ones that are on that app to read. Berserk on that app.
No, I doubt that. They're totally not Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
No, God, it's hard to recommend anything else because it's so good.
I'm not reading One Piece. Well, I'll read maybe. I joked with because Johnny got it. The reason he got it is because he wanted to reread One Piece. It was like chapter.
You made the
27.
right choice.
It's like it's hard to do this when I'm on chapter 27 and it's up to 1,000. But it's like, if I read like one chapter a day, I can have it done in like 3.5 years.
Not even that, because it will go on more. I don't know. Read Dragon Ball. Read Dragon Ball Super. Super's good.
Oh, Super fine. It's like I know Dragon Ball. I don't need to fucking read Dragon Ball.
No, read Super because Super the manga has exceeded the anime. Like there's a couple more arcs past it now.
Well, I want to hear from the friends out there, and you tell me what I should read. What do you think is good? What do you think I'd like?
Yeah, figure out
figure that out and get back to me only when you can say that you have read more anime than me, but you might have. But you know what? You don't have.
You read more anime.
What? No, wait. Hold on. I butchered this. I don't know a way to end this. It's manga, it's not anime. And I couldn't think of a good way to say I have more trophies than you. Oh, shit.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send us questions, gaming memories, comments, or if you just want to know when the next episode's going to drop, then you can follow us on Twitter at MoreTrophiesPod. That's MoreTrophiesPod. That's More Trophies Pod. Also, you can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou@gmail.com. It's just the name of the show, all one word, at gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Ryan at Dr._Ryan on Twitter. You can also keep up to date with his Monday night Twitch streams office hours at twitch.tv/Dr._Ryan. That's Dr._RYAN. Dr._Ryan on both Twitch and Twitter. And follow Chris on Twitter at Burezu in Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm going to spell it out for you right now. That's BUREZUINJAPAN. That's all one word, Burezu in Japan on Twitter. And when they are streaming, you can check them out at twitch.tv/BlazeTK. That's BLAZE, the letter T, the letter K on Twitch. BlazeTK. Thank you again so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.